What is your NSFW secret that you are proud of? I was on a date with a girl probably out of my league. We eventually made it to a park and strolled onto a small bridge. There was a rushing stream below us, and it was nighttime, so no one was there next to us. Hearing all the water below really made me have to pee. Like, really bad. So as both of us were leaning over the rail watching the stream, I quietly unzip and whip out my willy. I pee down a support to minimize the splashing. The relief I felt was orgasmic. 8/10 would do again. I put a miniature top hat on my erect penis and snapped a photo with the disposable camera that my platoon sergeant left in the Humvee. Got together with a girl who was also in second year at university with me. It was pretty carnal. We were really attracted to one another and hooked up often and aggressively. It was hot. Anyway, one of the first few times we got together she invited me over. I went into her room and she had a red, sheer, satin sheet thrown over her lampshade casting a red hue to the room. She had high thread count Egyptian cotton sheets and tons of pillows on her bed. She also had, beside the bed, a bowl of mixed fruit. We made frick and afterwards I lay back in the afterglow of the X onto a mountain of pillows with her draped, naked, across me laying on my chest amidst expensive cotton sheets and she began to fricking feed me fruit from the fruit bowl. Like actually holding cherries up for me to bite off the stem. I felt like a fricking sultan. It was amazing. I fingered two of my sister's best friends at the same time in a field, akimbo style. I wrote erotica and dirty fanfic in high school for money. It helped me grow as a writer and paid for my needs. I charge based on length and content. Base charges 5-10 pages, $8.11-15, $10.16 plus, $13 content charges vanilla, free BDSM, plus $2 furry, plus $3 I'm on a list now, $+5. Hilariously enough I was voted most likely to write a bestseller in the yearbook. The teachers were confused as to why my class laughed so hard when I was given the certificate. Edit, formatting. My wife and I put a penny in a bank every time we have X. I know the exact number of times I've had X in my life because I've only ever had X with my wife. I have a wheat penny tattoo on my right leg that I got on our anniversary, I think 6th year. We also know how many times it took to conceive our 2 kids because we used nickels for one and dimes for the other. We count pennies every anniversary and write down totals and average for the year. Some people know this story, including friends at work, but it's not something I'd say is 100% safe for work. I had a threesome where all parties involved were actually attracted to one another. In high school me and my best friend challenged a girl to a competition on who could come the most in one day, using an honor system. I lost at 7 times, Buddy got to 11, and she beat us both at 26. To this day I regret not stating in the rules no vibrators allowed. The first time I came home on leave from the army I hadn't seen my wife in 7 months. We stayed at my parents' house. She had moved in with her mother in that time to save money. My parents went out the first night we were there to see a movie without us, in a kind of wink wink nod nod situation. I had been in an incredibly stressful environment for 7 months without seeing my wife. I was also now highly physically fit. I fricked that girl so hard I broke my cherry wood bed frame and the bed collapsed underneath us. I was pretty busy that week and forgot to fix it before I left for Germany. The first phone call to my dad he said, "Oh yeah," laughing, "I fixed your bed frame for you. I don't know what you did to that poor girl but I hope she's alright," more laughing. Had a foursome with 3 other women during a girls' weekend at a cabin in the mountains. MDMA was involved. The other night this guy I'm seeing and I had such great sex that after we climaxed at the end we literally fell asleep right away. I woke up an hour later literally still on top of him. I thought that was just something that happened in romance novels. I once farted as I got on a packed train in London. I knew it was a killer but played it cool. The doors closed behind me and 10 seconds later a girl sitting next to her boyfriend hits him and shouts, "You're disgusting." 5 years 3 months clean from heroin today. I once had to call into court as a witness for an altercation that happened at my work. I was placed under oath over the phone. My girlfriend at the time blew me the entire time. I was the male star of a prom shoot on an amateur website based in Ocean City, MD during the late 90s. Edit website was known as Thewatlands.com, although the owner, named Kbabi, passed away a few years later and the domain registration expired. I learned about the studio from a worker in a t-shirt shop on the boardwalk. It was located in West Ocean City, in an industrial park, next to construction businesses if I remember correctly. Very discreet, but a full professional studio with casting couches, beds, etc. But I later learned that it was a widely known and respected site to view paid amateur porn. The pay rate was $100 HR. Edit 2. Seems Kbabi is still alive, but her husband was the owner, and he apparently took his own life. RIP to him, and my inbox. Sorry for my bad English, it's my second language. Not sure if this fits here. Not proud of the moment, but I am proud of the result. Me and my wife had kids, and decided that that was enough children. We got married after the kids were born, and went on a honeymoon. We got drunk and had sex, without protection. The next day we panicked a bit, and went to a drug shop and got a regret pill. My wife took it at the hotel room. Crisis cancelled. After this we thought nothing about it, and continued with the honeymoon. Like half an hour later she gave me a blowjob. She never ever gives me blowjobs as she chokes easily, so this was a real treat for me. When I came hard, and the cum shot landed at the back of her mouth, and she puked all over the floor, and my D. We laughed it off, and joked about it for the rest of the vacation. A few weeks after, when we came home, she did not get her period. We got anxious, and it turned out she was pregnant. The only time we had sex without protection was at that hotel room. When she puked after the blowjob, she must have puked out the pill as well. So, now we have 3 kids. The youngest is as amazing as the other 2, and I am proud to have him. But he must never ever find out how he was conceived. Got a hand job from my GF while her parents were driving us back from Disney World. Was offered anal sex by a sales rep who looked like thin Jessica Simpson and turned her down because I had recently started dating the woman who would be my wife. Kissed me in front of the whole bar, bit my freaking lip, and when I pulled her out of there to talk her down, she grabbed my junk and told me where she'd like to put it. Stayed true to my girl, married her, and we're celebrating our 6th anniversary this year. What is your NSFW secret? Woohoo, my time to contribute has come that you are proud of. I guess I'll just read the comments this time. I can frick a girl while wholly supporting her with my arms. I used to be overweight and pretty weak, so I'm pretty proud of this and have no one to tell I roll without coming off like a douche. I'm a hip disarticulate amputee on my left side, meaning they took the entire leg. I just have a fleshy lump there, right up next to my crotch. This means I get to say my D is longer than my left leg as a factual statement. There are very few good things about being an amputee, so I take what I can get. Edit. I've never experienced this level of upvoting and positive commenting. You guys have cheered me up when I wasn't in the best of moods. I finally found out what positive karma is good for on this site. A smile and shared laughter. Thanks for being a positive part of my day. I'll pay it forward whenever possible. D. Edit 2. Here's a picture of my hardware so folks understand what hip disarticulate means. https://i.imgur.com/wwfdu97.jpg. Here's a pic when I was nearly dead. http:// i.mgur.com/q.j8z.jpg. I'm not conscious and I'm that big because the infection that was killing me inflamed my entire body. Here's me now https://i.mgur.com/83acxop.jpg. I do have some of my right leg still. I also have an artificial hip as you saw in the x-ray. The artificial hip will help me with the prosthetics I'm getting fitted for. I'm really good at unhooking bras with one hand, although weirdly it has to be with my non-dominant hand. My bed is broken from having X. It was already a little broken before from something else. But recently, in the middle of fun time, my bed caved in. It was hilarious, but at the same time it scared the shit out of me. I broke a sink in a bar bathroom while having X with my now wife back when we were in college. I rode a bike for a 40-mile journey on LSD in Tokyo during the height of cherry blossom season. I'm currently in a friends with benefit situation with one of my senior manager. It started with a drunken night out and now we frick pretty much every day. It's quite awkward in the office because she is my boss's boss and during our business review meetings my face goes red when she asks me something. AskReddits like this always makes me wonder if I just have an exceedingly boring life or if people are just phenomenal liars. Once, I hung a poster by standing on a rolly chair. I once shagged a girl who worked in post delivery. While I was signing the delivery she said something in my house smelled nice. I had just made coffee and wanted to offer her a cup, so I said I know, you wanna come in, which she did. She grabbed my crotch within 10 seconds and then my brain went frick it, let's do this I guess. She didn't get to drinking any coffee though. When I was in college, I lived in a dorm that had a pool table room. One night, I was drunk with my then boyfriend, and we stumbled in there at around 3 AM to have X. We ended up stripping down totally, not really caring about our nudity since the dorm was dead that night. While we were doing the deed, we ended up on the ground on the non-door facing side of the table, and almost immediately, someone opens the door and turns the light on. X and I freeze. I turn my head to look under the table and see their feet freeze as they see our clothes scattered everywhere. Not a noise was made, no one moved, complete awkwardness for what felt like forever, about 7 seconds. The other guy just turned the light off and backed out, and we never got caught. Edit. Okay, we got caught obviously, but I more meant that they never found out who we were. Trust me, we would have heard it from someone in the dorm. I fingered my GF while we were in a bus. The bus was quite full, and she was the one who dared me to try something naughty, and she almost got us caught too. My GF put a grapefruit on my wang once. I have to delete this before she sees it. On our honeymoon, my wife gave me a blowjob while I was standing at the window to our hotel room, looking out over Niagara Falls, Canadian side. To this day, I'm proud to say that I've received a BJ while looking down on one of the natural wonders of the world. Edit. For those suggesting that I add the remaining natural wonders to my bucket list, I'm afraid I have to disappoint you. A bout with cancer and complications from a 22-hour surgery to remove the tumor has resulted in some plumbing problems, among which are inability to get an erection. So, while I have some very nice memories of X, that's about it. There won't be any new ones anytime soon. I've been part of a threesome. So that's neat. I masturbated and finished 7 times in a day once. I fricked my then girlfriend now wife on the conference room table of an old job one night. Boss held a training class and there the next day. Edit. I am so very thankful that, to my knowledge, none of my family or friends are on Reddit. My wife would be horrified to know thousands of people had seen this post. My butt plug collection. I've got 25 unique plugs. I once went bowling with 2 other couples and my own GF. So 3 guys, 3 girls including me and my GF at the time. I had slept with all 3 girls there. I write pretty raunchy lit erotica. Linked to my stories. I've had a few people asking. Picked up a hooker at a bar, didn't pay, didn't get robbed. Same story again with another one, except she didn't want to use a condom, so I for the first time said no to X. Leader full guild naxxramus progress raid over Ventrilo while my ex blew and fricked me. Didn't come, was too dedicated to the raid. IP sitting down. My ex kisses the guy she left me for with the same tongue she used to stick up my ass. It's a secret pride that makes me happy. Sucked my own D. When I was in college, I worked at a vet clinic. I'd go in on weekends to take care of the boarders and I'd generally go in by myself. My girlfriend would join from time to time to play with the puppies. We fricked on my boss desk, in the hallway, and on the surgery table, which I tied her to. We're married now. I've had X with a few prawnsters. A couple of them do escorting at a relatively acceptable price, and a few years ago I decided to indulge. I don't know how to describe it. Best experience in my entire life. They literally made me discover a new level of pleasure in X. I'm a pretty vanilla guy, didn't do anything out of the ordinary with them, but holy crap, this is something I obviously won't talk about in public, but it rocked my life in so many ways. An incredible experience for sure. Had the best sex to date when a friend of mine said he'd give me a ride home after a long day of work. The car ride was long but immensely fun because of our playful bantering. We swapped text stories and I could count on having a great conversation with him because of our common interests. He came inside my small apartment and one thing led to another. Basically, we went a few rounds, tried many positions that had me bending in awkward angles but felt really good, and we eventually moved my mattress so much that it flipped on us. Oh, and during his more rougher goes, we broke my curtain rod. He also enjoyed my impromptu twerking during doggy, which I had never done before but felt so damn good, so planned to do again. Also learned that I could squirt that day. All in all, it was an amazing night. Summer 1998. I had 2 FWB girlfriends who knew about each other and didn't care. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to get them both in bed at the same time. Best summer of my life. It's good to have a rep for keeping your mouth shut in a tourist town. I was in a poly relationship for a year and a half. Myself, my girlfriend, and her girlfriend, our roommate. The only ex I had for a year and a half was threesomes, but there was one time I'm particularly proud of. The 3 of us took a summer camping trip to my favorite spot in the Catskills. There's a hike up a stream through the mountains that ends at a waterfall with a big swimming hole. I have a bit of a thing for freaking outdoors and the ladies were feeling it too, so we found a big flat rock and went to town, totally naked, out in the open, the roar of the waterfall mixing with our moans of pleasure. And then we went swimming. It was pretty freaking excellent. I used to have bulimia, and after years of self-induced vomiting, have no gag reflex whatsoever. Seriously, when I get with a guy and he finds that out, the reaction is priceless. Got my D sucked dry by a girl within 10 minutes of freaking meeting her. I don't know how I did it, but I've only told one friend. Would like to tell more people friends, but IDK if they'd believe something so random. Edit. Lol, I didn't even get her name or number. This happened recently and I'm still kicking myself for it, LMAO. I once made my college girlfriend scream so much and so loud during an orgasm that her downstairs neighbor, a kind, elderly woman, came upstairs, rapped on the door and insisted that if she didn't hear my GF's voice immediately, she was gonna call the cops. We both lay in bed, laughing as my GF reassured her that she was quite well, thank you. After that, she tended to cram a pillow or stuffed animal in her mouth to muffle the sound effects. Lol. I had ex with identical twins, sadly not together. Started talking to twin one on an anonymous social media app. We got toasting. She was sending me a lot of explicit pics and vids, but after a few weeks it sort of fizzled out before meeting. Fast forward a month or so and I bumped into what I thought was the same girl on the app and I almost ruined it by saying what I thought was her name. Turned out it was twin 2. We got talking and the same thing happened. She was completely unaware I'd be talking to her sister. Twin 2 and I met soon after and fricked a few times. Funny, at one point she was talking about twin 1 and how they're so different because twin 1 would never be this dirty with guys. God, it was so hard biting my tongue from saying actually she sent me pics of her a-hole. Anyways, twin 2 and I after a few weeks sort of cooled off. She met someone and they started a proper relationship. Twin 1 pops up again on social media. We begin talking again and this time we met and also fricked a few times. Not the most exciting experiences in the world, but it was at least pretty unique. My first blowjob was from 2 girls at the same time. I think I set the bar a little too high a little too early. And had an awakening that I needed to live for me. Proceeded to engage in a week-long X-fest at an adult club. I was told I eat pussy like a lesbian. I'm a dude. I suck my husband off on camera for extra income. I'm a male nurse student. When I had a 2 months internship in a hospital I worked together with some nurses who were both male and female. Majority was female of course. I was also working together with 2 other students on the department. The 3 of us each had 1 mentor nurse. They gave us grades. One day I had a late shift with another student and we actually didn't talk much since we worked together. Well, one nurse said we had to check on a patient who rang his little bell. We did what we had to do and made some eye contact while doing it and that made it happen, I guess. We left the room and she went the other way from the nursing post and I asked where she was heading to. Come with me and find out, she said. I followed already thinking of awesome stuff would happen and what do you know? We went into a storeroom, locked the door and had awesome X. From that day we had X for like 4 times until our internship was done. After that we had a friend with benefits relationship for a good 4 months until she got a boyfriend. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe and leave a comment.